sincere apology, ladies. We're all men on this panel. Allow me to give our panelists exactly 30 seconds to introduce themselves and tell us something unique about themselves. All right, let's start from there. Kenny.
Good morning, everyone. Wave to me if you can hear me. Okay, so there are some people are not hearing me. Wave to me if you can hear me. Okay, thank you. My name is Julius Kemei, and I'm a co-founder of Navismart AI. I'm a data analyst, and we do also have, I do have another company called Jeff Solution, which is not in AI and artificial intelligence, is more on the tracking industry. So I'm looking forward to share some more insight on this particular session. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Steven Kibushi. I'm the Senior IT Officer at African Guarantee Fund, which offers loans and guarantees to other financial institutions for economic development and for SMEs to access finance within Africa. It's based in Nairobi, Kenya, but headquartered in Mauritius. Born, raised, studied, and live in Nairobi, Kenya, so I came specifically for this conference. I'm glad to all meet you. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Robert Churi, and I am Chair and CEO of the Global Diaspora One Voice Consortium, an umbrella organization that brings together well over 80 others, including KUSAT-DIAC, that are in various sectors: agriculture, finance, business, culture, sports, international affairs, and so forth. And the role is to speak in one voice on matters that are cross-cutting, that affect our people here in the diaspora and back home. And among those 80 organizations, I lead 3 of them: the Food Security Consortium, an organization that is dedicated to enhance our irrigation, water, and agriculture in Kenya, and also the Global Standards Certification Body that offers certifications for various areas, including quality management systems, food management systems, environmental management systems, and even energy management systems, and others that are out there. And also, we are part of the Kenya National Accreditation Body. Thank you.
Great. My name is Brian Jojotieno. I am a news anchor, business reporter at NTV Nation Media Group back in Kenya, a global moderator, speaker. I am a handicap 19. How many of us play golf here? Good stuff. I dedicated my career towards telling tech stories. So your average startups, both folks who are starting from concept stage and all that. And earlier on we spoke with one of the panelists who was earlier on this panel, and we just talked about how much us, the media, make mistakes of feeding the public. That's you who consume content from us. And by the way, we have a big diaspora community who are following up what's happening in Kenya. Please give yourself up a clap, just one clap. Great. So we want to tell these stories more, and that's why we're here. And for me, this is the, perhaps we're going to pick a lot of stories from you guys from here. But for now, we're told a lot that there's a lot of opportunity to expand, to grow, to tap in from the diaspora market. Just how true is it? Let's separate the wheat from the chaff. Let's dot the I's and cross the T's with my panel here today. We're going to go for about 40 or so minutes. You're welcome your questions, answers. This is not a lecture. We certainly want to hear from you. I'm going to start with Dr. Shuri here. What are some of the biggest misconceptions about investing in the diaspora community from home?
Among the biggest misconceptions is that you can be out here in the diaspora and you can invest back home very, very safely without any issues. Issues will always be there. We are told of stories where people invest, but if after some time they find that even what they are investing back home, the reports of what they are getting is not really what they had in mind. Sometimes they rely on their families, their relatives to kind of check what is happening, but they end up really failing in that end. So one of those misconceptions is how can we be able to safely invest back home and ensure that whatever we are, our future vision of what we want is exactly what is happening. So this is some of the misconceptions, including that everything that you are doing over here, you can be able to invest well, and by the time you get back home, it's going to be what you really want. So, and I'm sure my other co-panels may have something on that.
Lovely. I'd like Julius to double click on what he just mentioned here. Those misconceptions that he has enumerated, how then can investors who are looking to invest in the diaspora market circumvent them, then go around them and be successful in business and still be sustainable?
Okay, so I feel like in most cases, we here as a community within diaspora, we normally look into our country that we're coming from as a place of action. So it's upon us to take action into getting to get more information on the areas that we're interested to invest in. I may give up an example of Safaricom. So, like Safaricom, if you are interested in trading and investing in shares back home in Kenya, they are trying to build up on a digital platform such a way that even people in diaspora can be able to access and invest in the NIC, the Nairobi Stock Exchange, through the one app, the ZD investment.
Yeah, ZD Trader.
So it's upon us to take action. That is one of it. But when it comes to other investment, like for instance, buying on land or investing on real estate, those are the key areas that you have to go through the structural companies that are there for us to help you into getting into those particular investments, rather than just doing it through the. Okay.
I got your question, so let me
just rephrase a little bit. So some of us are not going to be here forever. We want to go back home and retire back home.
Lovely.
And we want to go home to something. You know, we want to continue having an income when you go back home. So I'm talking about small businesses which are not, part of all those Nairobi Stock Exchange and
the
all
listed
those
companies.
Yeah, maybe I want to buy a school or a hospital so that when I go back home, I can contribute, my skills, but also have, build like a legacy business, small business.
So let me respond to that kindly. So I'll give some premise, and then now I'll proceed to tell you why I'm speaking the way I'm speaking. So again, as a business journalist, by the way, I didn't do media as my first course. I did a business course, and then I was just good at articulating stuff, and that's how I got into media. So I'm finishing my master's in media right now. So previously we used to run a financial literacy show until I think I got really overwhelmed with schoolwork and all that. So to answer your question, a very short answer is that unfortunately there is no system in Kenya right now for investing directly into startups. It's not there, sorry. What do we have? Just associations and incubation programs. So like Y Combinator up here in America and the like, we have starting level, although it's very scandalous, and tell them I said they're scandalous. I don't want to lie to you, I don't gain from lying to people. Starting level is scandalous. We have ASEC, which is Association of Startups and something in Kenya and the like. So those are the only things we have currently. So we don't have like systems where you click onto and go and get an opportunity to invest in a startup.
And this is what we have here in Europe, America, across the world. So you need to really up your game in terms of your interest which gets. And now, if I was to speak in the perspective of the diaspora, now trying to bring in the capital back now into Kenya. I think it was in the earlier session we had somebody commenting about the strategy the government has put in terms of the diaspora investment.
Okay, I'm going to need you to hold your mic like this.
Yeah, sorry.
Great.
So in terms of the diaspora investment, I won't speak much about it. The only part that I'll speak about in that strategy is that sometimes even investment doesn't have to be monetary. It has to be, it can also be of knowledge transfer. Something that we spoke a lot in yesterday's session. For those people who aren't able to attend day one, we spoke are not about knowledge transfer in terms of how Kenyan diaspora here, in terms of tech and everything, can just transfer that knowledge.
Okay, lovely. We've just closed round 1. Please prepare your questions. We're going to go to round 2 of questions right now. Let me come back to you, Dr. Chiuri. He has enumerated a lot of professions, a lot of faculties. You need to understand tax, you need to understand fundraising, you need to understand this, the legal system, etc., etc. Practically, for an Otieno like me who's been born and bred in Nairobi, Kenya, the fact is that I can't understand all of that when I'm coming to invest, for example, in Washington or Delaware or SFO, San Francisco and the like. How can I, as a founder, for example, of a startup that's tapping onto this market, manage to have all of that consolidated under a very affordable service that still allows me to be profitable and sustainable in my business? Because we need those professionals. We need to understand what are the tax policies here. When I was coming, I saw a lot of banners of, have you been hurt at work? Talk to us. I don't know, lawyers or what. How do we manage all of that? Because yes, it's true, sometimes you have your fintech based here, but you don't understand all the laws and you can't understand all of them overnight, and you need to move with speed. So speak to the affordability of having that, and also making sure you are airtight from a legal point of view, but also being sustainable.
Thank you for that question, and I must say that we always mention about due diligence. Everything is about fact-checking everything that you hear, that you see, and most importantly, getting into understanding organizations that can be able to support you in that endeavor of knowing what is happening. Attending conferences like these ones, attending sessions where they are networking with others, finding out much more about what is going on. So what we are saying is that before even you get very far in your startup, start to identify areas or where you can be able to get more additional support in terms of information that you need, resources that you need, and so forth. And don't overlook the fact that there are those who may have already done very, very well, and therefore you need to really know how they got where they are, because sometimes it is they got where they are out of a lot of trials and attempts. I don't know whether some of you recall there is a lubricant that is called 40D, right? WD-40. WD-40 is called WD-40 because the inventor, the innovator of that, had 39 failed experiments. So the 40th one is what that won. So these people who have done very well, they may have failed in their startups. So you can learn from what they have done. So don't overlook getting somebody's, researching somebody who is doing very, very well, so that they can be able to mentor you and help you move on well. Thank you.
Great. Let's go to, come on. Thank you. Let's go to Kemei. Ladies and gentlemen, this topic is speaking to diaspora investment. So that's the topic we're handling, just as a reminder. Kemei.
Yes.
I mean, perhaps I should have picked this question to Kibisho, but you're free to respond to it later on. The shortcut to getting your footing in investing in diaspora normally is divestiture. So I spoke to Naomi earlier on. I find Naomi and I say, okay, fine, you're a resident here, you're buying larger citizen. Can you have 5%, 10% of this corporation so that I can bypass some of those laws? What's the hack of making that successful? Because, like I mentioned earlier on, partnerships are difficult, and especially when you want to monitor your business from Kenya, it's difficult. So, speak to the element of divestiture and managing those successes around understanding the legal bit of investing in diaspora.
Okay, so I feel like when it comes to investment, anybody that you interact with who have like a dream to build up something for themselves and even for the future, and to see an impact that go across to the community or to a certain level of life, they have to start it, and you have it in mind, you start and build it. How you do it sometimes can be different, but here's the thing. So when it comes to this particular business and the startup that you have started, I really believe it's so good enough that once you start the startup or that particular initiative or an investment, have a way that from the beginning you understand how to end it. Because what has the end has to have a beginning. So the beginning and at the end also, what are you going to do? So at the end of the game, if at all this particular startup that you're going to start, possibly if at a point it end up not being able to be successful or something you feel like you may not be able to continue this. So you will have to have a strategy from the beginning. At what point, at what can you do such a way that you can have it and in a better way. And in many cases, you find that some of the startup may have a very bad diversity at the end of the day, but I believe to navigate in the right way at the beginning, this particular case, you can do it. One of the possible ways that can be done, it can be like, for your case, you have said that you are in Kenya and maybe you have some partner here and the company is in the US. So the best way I believe it can be taken as an action can be, you can sell to the particular partner within this particular startup that you have started with, which is a good thing. And another way that you can have a very nice successful diversity out of it, it can be even through sell out to the employees, because these are the people that you have recruited them. They have the knowledge of operation of this particular startup. So at the end of the day,
it's called ESOP.
Yes, okay, yeah. So at the end of the day, when you sell to the employee the ESOP, the concept itself, then these people may have the desire to continue build up the startup. As much as you, as a partner in Kenya, you are not interested to do that. So that still will put this particular startup still on an ongoing basis, rather than even going to a liquidation level, which is not a good thing. And additionally, that can be done, especially to a company or a startup that was small and has been built up. I have seen a couple of success stories whereby a company, if it's registered and it has grown to a certain level, instead of to go to the liquidation, you can as well enlist it to this particular listing, what you call public, like Nairobi Stock Exchange or here in the US there. So at the end of the day, as a partner within the startup, you will still have a shareable, or you have reduced up your shareable level of the operation, but still the startup will continue to operate, which is a very nice, instead of killing it at the end of the day.
Lovely. I'd speak a whole day. I'd speak a whole day about shareholding and the like. I mean, think about it. CBK, the Central Bank of Kenya, has set the maximum individual shareholding at 5%. Marcy can correct me if I'm wrong. That's a financial function. At 5%, if you are a shareholder within the bank, in a bank that's regulated by CBK, 5% is the maximum you can hold. I think, is it Zuckerberg who holds 11% of Meta? Yeah. If I'm not wrong, perhaps I need to check the numbers again. So I think what we need to tell our people more is that you don't need to own the entire cake. We can come, all of us, so many of us, and build a bigger cake based off of our expertise and experiences and the like. Let me bring in Kibushi on this last question before we open it up to the audience. Kibushi, last year in Latitude 25, Latitude is mostly supported and sponsored by the government of Estonia, which is a model in startup support systems, technology, etc. One of the things we learned last year was that they have what you call startup residency programs. So if your startup is situated in Estonia, you have a residency. We have tax amnesty programs. They also extend such to founders, and we've also seen the same in Rwanda and the like. What I'm driving towards is the incentives that come by investing in another country. How do we make these incentives popular to our founders back in Kenya? Because the truth is that, as a Kenyan, honestly, I'm so frustrated by the tax program in the Kenyan market. It's extremely frustrating. Every year we have to have a finance bill. Fine, it's constitutional, but there are countries that have stability. And I'll give an example in Africa. Rwanda, for example, they only passed one finance bill in 3 years. How do we communicate these incentives to our people here so that they're able to take advantage of them and make a killing where they see an opportunity abroad?
Trying to look for these incentives, at least in our country, I agree, it's a bit difficult. Again, because of the G word.
Yeah.
The person that, the entity that we rely on to get all this support from, perhaps is also taking too much from us.
Yeah.
So it becomes a bit difficult, but there are ways that startups can also gain capital from outside investors, as long as they comply. From back to my first point, where as long as you're going through the legal frameworks and you have your legal advisors back in the country, you can still get your you can still be backed up by international guys, and you get the capital to do that. And yeah, I think that's basically what we can do in terms of incentives. Also, you have to apply, and that's why we Kenyans are coming for conferences like this, networking. Networking with the correct people will give you the correct ways and channels to know how exactly where and how to do these investments for the startup. So looking for grants, there's someone in this room I actually spoke to. I got to understand their platform, and it's in healthcare, and they're trying to look for some sort of investment because it's based back in Kenya, though he's a resident here in the US. So he's trying to ask me, like the organization that I work for, how can I get funding for this? And through this networking, I can show him the right channels and how he can get all these loans and from financial institutions back in Kenya. Yeah.
Great. Questions, comments, answers, responses, something we may have left out. Feel free to even correct us. Cleophas, where are you? Cleophas? Cleophas, we're going to find you. All right. In no particular order, I think I saw her hand up first. Let's prioritize the women now that we don't have women on the panel. Who ran the world? Who ran the world? Oh, come on. The lady in a hoodie. Yes.
Hello, my name is Wendy Onyango. I come from Rusinga Island. I'm a software engineer and AI researcher on memory efficient models that run on mobile phones and stuff like that. So the question that you asked about, you are in a foreign country, you want to maybe run a startup in a different country, how do you go about it? So I'm running a US deep tech startup. It's called Spirally from Kenya. And yeah. And
I need you to also say your age.
No.
No, there's a reason I'm asking, honestly.
No.
Wendy, I'll deny you that interview you're looking for on TV. No. Very fast, 30 seconds. Why I'm saying that is because it's inspirational that you're actually doing that at your age.
Okay, that's personal information.
It's okay. It's okay. The reason I was asking is because you are an inspiration doing that at your age. So yeah.
Thank you. All right. So fast forward steps to owning a US company while in Kenya from Nairobi. So there's this program called Stripe Atlas. It's done by Stripe, the payment platform. They handle for you all the legal stuff with regards to American laws, federal taxes, state laws and stuff like that, and even handle stuff like fundraising, the safe documents and everything like that. And then Stripe Atlas also has, and at a small fee, I think I paid $250. $250. They gave me a discount, but usually it's $500. So they have programs where they give you discounts, so it's easy. So the moment you just sign up with them, all you need to do is put your name, details, and whatever, and then you get your EIN. I think after you get incorporated in 24 hours or less in Delaware. And then once you're incorporated, your EIN, election, the shares, whatever, all those, they're being done. And then you'll get your company EIN, and once it's done, yeah. And then fast forward, handling fundraising and how you can raise, for example, you are in Kenya, it's a US company, and you want to raise from American investors. They have a fundraising platform where they handle all the SAFE. So the SAFE document is based off Y Combinator, the standard Y Combinator SAFE document. So that is how I've been able to raise and run a US company while in Kenya when I wasn't here. Yeah.
Inspirational, lovely. By all means. She's up next. She had a question too.
Okay.
A question or a comment?
I'm just 30 years old.
My question is geared to the panelists. So,
who in particular?
Anyone can answer.
So, okay.
Yeah. In this room, we have a lot of people who are trying to invest back home, but lack the vehicles or structures that are trustworthy, because there's a lot of, sitaki kusema corruption, but there's a lot of gray area in Kenya. So I know previously, we bought land, we bought bonds, we have kakitu kidogo, some of us. So what platforms are there for people who want to either become angel investors or want to buy some of this equity or some shares in some of these companies, especially startups? Yeah, how do we invest?
Yeah, so there is some other question, but here's what I can say. I know when it comes to investing back home is a kind of challenge thing, but